Right. Okay, so let's start. Whether you've got a bolster or whether you've got 2 or 3 bed pillows, one on top of each other, to make a makeshift bolster. And you may use maybe another blanket to sit your buttocks or sacrum on, and just check in that when you lie back, maybe 1 or 2 fist gaps, knees bent, feet facing forward. When you lie back on your makeshift bolster, that your neck is in line with the spine, and take your arms comfortably out to the side for you. And again, if we sit on something higher, whether it be a blanket or a pillow, that lessens the curvature of the lower back. And we can also lessen the curvature by lifting the buttocks up, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels, placing the buttocks back down, turning your palms to face up, and just check in whether it feels good for your lower back to have the knees bent, or check in whether it feels right to straighten your legs. So staying here for a few breaths, and we're going to just take the awareness into the abdomen, starting with that abdominal breath, the diaphragmatic breath, just settling into the space. Because it's the first time we've done the class again for a while on Zoom, we're just giving ourselves that permission to settle into our body via the breath, knowing that by utilising that awareness of our breath, we're directly tapping into the ability of our nervous system to come into that state of rest and repose and relaxation. And as we feel the breath in the abdomen, we're also becoming aware that it's a 3-dimensional breath. So as we breathe in, we know that we're filling the abdomen with air, but feel how your waists expand out. Feel that we can direct awareness of breath into the back as well. And as you breathe out and you feel the abdomen empty, also feel the sides of the waist will move in. We'll stay here just for a couple more breaths. Just begin to settle that system into that state of ease. And then let's bend the knees, take the feet on the floor, and let's roll over to the side. Now, whether you've got 2 pillows or whether you've got a bolster, let's turn it sideways. And if you don't have a block, come and pick one up. But in the meantime, use a cushion or something. We're going to do some breath into the sideline of the body, into the rib cage. So when we come on our side, we're going to thread this bottom arm, so the arm and the shoulders on the floor, and we need to have the right height of the block, so the head's not low or too high, that the neck is in line with the spine. And we want to maybe have another blanket underneath that shoulder if we need to. Now this top arm, if it's comfortable for the shoulder, can come over the ear, and we can come just a little bit over onto our backs. If it's not comfortable for that top arm, if it's like hanging in the ear like this, then we can bend the elbow, or even you can bend the elbow and just rest that hand onto the back, onto the sacrum. And then from here, we're going to direct the breath into this top rib cage. So when we breathe in, we want to feel, I'm going to take my top hand, and you can do this for yourself as well, to really notice that when we breathe in, we're going to breathe into those ribs and feel them expand, feel the ribs open. And when we breathe out, we want to feel the ribs soften. We can even have a very slight minimal pressure on that rib cage. So as you breathe in, there's enough pressure so you breathe and you feel that you're breathing up into that palm. And as you breathe out, you can feel that palm is just gently helping those ribs to soften back down. Very slight, very minimal. So a couple more breaths. Because as we know, when we don't access our full diaphragmatic breath, then there's no movement into the rib cage. We need these ribs to be able to move freely. to access the breath into the intercostal muscles, to access that awareness that we can breathe into the back of the lungs. So either keeping the hands there, taking it to the back or overhead if it's comfortable. We'll have a few more breaths here. This also helps to create that length into that lower back. A couple more breaths. And then roll a little bit over onto your back, just a little bit. And then roll all the way over, press through the hands, and come up onto the other side. I'm going to flip myself around just so you can see. So we want to thread that bottom arm, so the shoulder and the arm is on the ground. That's why you might need another blanket underneath the back of the shoulder. Keep the neck in line with the spine. Knees are stacked. And if it's super comfortable for that shoulder, maybe the arm comes over the ear. Or maybe we're going to turn that shoulder and bend the elbow and take the hand, the palm, onto that lower back. Or you can also really gauge that awareness of what we're doing here, of breathing into that ribs. We're using the palm to access into that sensation that when we breathe in, we're breathing into this top rib, feeling the rib expand and open. And when you breathe out, feel that rib soften down. And notice that when we breathe into the ribs, feeling it open, we're also directing that awareness of the breath into that lung behind. A couple more breaths here, keeping maybe your hand on the rib or overhead by the ear. Creating a sense of release into the lower back through this as well. Speaking last week about how if we don't open the sideline of the body, this often targets, can create tightness into that lower line, into the back line. Do one more, breath into the ribs. If comfortable, take the arm over the ear. Otherwise, keep the hand where it feels right. Then roll a little bit over onto the back, just to create more rotation into that rib cage. And then slowly come back. And then pressing through the palms and coming all the way up. So take your pillows or your bolster off to the side. And if you don't have a block, then you can always use a cushion when we access later on. And if you don't have your strap and you've just got a tie, then you can use that too. So let's come on to the back. Keep the knees bent, feet on the floor. Find the position so your neck is in line with your body. And first of all, just using the awareness of moving with our breath. First of all, press your feet down into the mat and feel that you're trying to draw your feet back towards you as you press them down. Now, in the base of your rib cage, imagine that you're lengthening the base of your rib cage down to your belly button, like there's a clip lock. That's clip locking the belly to the base of the rib cage. Sides of the waist are hugging in. So feel when you breathe in, so the inhale begins, and then we bring the arms over the back of the head as we keep breathing in, and keep breathing in for that whole length of the inhale, but keep feeling that you're drawing the base of your rib cage to your navel. And when you feel yourself breathe out, the out breath begins, and the arms follow that out breath, and keep breathing out for as long as you comfortably can for. So feel when the inhale begins, and then the arms follow that inhale all the way over the head, drawing the base of your rib cage down to the navel. Feel when you need to breathe out, the out breath begins, and the arms follow that movement. Now this time, feel when the in-breath begins. As you lift your arms, imagining you're lifting like this cute little chubby puppy that weighs about 2 kilos. And straight away, you've got intra-abdominal pressure. Gently touch behind, out breath, lifting chubby puppy, 2 or 3 kilos depending on chubbiness, and placing them very carefully all the way down. So just the arms, feel the in-breath, just the arms, you're not pretending to lift anything, and just feel, oh, this kind of feels like nothing. I'm just moving my arms over the back of my head, drawing my ribs to my abdomen. When I breathe out, my arms are basically just floating down on my breath. Now, the inhale begins, picking up a chubby puppy or a chubby cat, by the way. Chubby cats can be very heavy. And then very gently, imagine placing it overhead. Feel yourself breathe out and lifting chubby cat or chubby puppy all the way back. And immediately, because you're imagining you're lifting a load, you're increasing the intra-abdominal pressure, which supports the spine. One more time, your imaginary pet, you're lifting overhead, rib cage moving down to navel, sides of waist hugging in, creating supporting spine either side. Out breath, slowly chosen animal pet, facing all the way back down, and then just let that go. Okay, hugging the right thigh and knee into the chest, and either keep that left leg bent to support your back or straighten the left leg along the floor. Press the heel down, draw the toes up, and just hug that thigh and the knee into the chest. Now soften the shoulder blades down the back and just pause here. Just allow that thigh to gently squeeze all that air out. So we start with the right leg because this is the ascending colon. So this is gently starting to create that gentle stimulation into that digestive tract. So on the inhale, we now straighten the right leg as the arms come over the back of the head. As you breathe out, you're going to bend that knee and hug the thigh and the knee back in and down. So feel when you breathe in, the inhale begins and then the movement follows as you keep breathing in. Feel when you need to breathe out and then the movement follows that out breath. So I might be going slower than you. So on your inhale, the movement follows the whole length of your inhale. Feel when you need to breathe out, and as you breathe out, the movement then follows that out breath all the way. So one more time, comfortably lengthening your inhale, comfortably, and comfortably lengthening your exhale. And then just pause here. So what we're going to do is we're going to straighten the right leg along the floor, arms overhead, draw the rib cage to the belly, take a breath in. On an out breath, hug the thigh and the knee into the chest, pause here, and then chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Breathing in, soften head, right leg lengthens, arms overhead, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. On an out breath, hug the thigh, knee into the chest, keep breathing out, chin to chest, abdominal muscles lift the forehead to the knee, not the neck. Breathing in, lengthen in each direction. On an out breath, hugging thigh, knee into the chest, keep breathing out, chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Let's do one more time. Lengthen in each direction, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen long. On an out breath, hug the thigh, knee into the chest. First, keep breathing out, chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Pause, and then relax the back of the head all the way down. From here, interlace behind that back of that knee, and then extend the right leg to the ceiling. Let's just do some slow ankle rotations. So really notice your ankle joint and notice how it is moving, what kind of range of movement do we have, and then slowly in the opposite direction. Nice and slow. Don't hurry it. And then hugging that right thigh and knee into chest. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the arms out to the side, and I want you to really pin the back of your arms and your shoulders into the floor. I want you to anchor down through that left leg and that left heel. Press it down, press it down. And then from here, rotations in the rib cage, not the lower back. So we're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to come over onto the left, bringing the right knee towards the left. And then as we breathe in, we're slowly coming back. So as we breathe out, pin that back of that left leg down. The right knee comes over, rotation in the rib cage, just a rib cage. Breathe in to come back. Keep the shoulders and arms anchored down. On an out breath, we come over just enough till you feel that rotation in the rib cage. And we breathe in to come back. And then hugging that right thigh knee into the chest, and then straighten that leg along the floor. And we'll go to the other side. So hugging the left thigh knee into the chest, just checking in because you know you can always bend that knee as well. Or keep it straight, yep. Okay, just squeezing, drawing it down. So now with the left knee, we're stimulating the descending colon, which is what we want. We want to go from the right down to the left. So keep drawing and hugging that in. And then we'll repeat that. So the inhale, left leg to the ceiling, arms overhead. Breathing out, hug the left thigh into the chest. Just relax the head down. We'll do that 2 more times. We'll inhale and on an exhale. So feel when you breathe in and then the movement follows that inhale. There's a natural pause at the peak. Feel when you need to breathe out and then the movement follows after you're breathing out. And then from here, we're going to straighten the leg along the floor, arms overhead. Now anchor the rib cage down to enable so not flaring. And breathing out, hug the left thigh into the chest. Keep breathing out, chin to chest, forehead to the knee. Breathing in, lengthen in each direction, draw and anchor the rib cage to the navel. And as you breathe out, hug the left thigh into the chest, chin to chest, forehead to the knee, using the abdominal muscles to lift. We'll do 1 more. Lengthen in each direction. Exhale, hugging the thigh and knee into the chest, chin to chest, forehead to the knee. And just keep relaxing and hugging that thigh and the knee into the chest, and then interlace behind the back. And we'll do 3 times slowly in each direction, ankle rotations. And again, really notice, this might be the first time this week, change direction, you've noticed, is my left ankle moving in a full range of movement? And every day, notice if there's any difference between each side. And then hugging that left thigh into the chest. Now take the arms out to the side. Now anchor the back of the arms and the shoulders down. Anchor that right leg down into the floor. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, coming over onto the right, you can turn your head to look to the left. And then breathing in, slowly come back. So on an out breath, you're coming over onto the right, and you're pressing the back of the arms and shoulders into the floor. On an inhale, coming back. Let's do that 1 more time. On an out breath, anchor the back of the arms and the shoulders down. Gaze to the opposite side. Inhale, slowly coming back. And then hugging that left thigh and knee into your chest. Hug both knees into the chest. Hands onto the knees. We'll just do some circles. Just slowly circling. See how it feels into that lower back. If it feels comfortable. And then circle in the opposite direction. Just notice if there's any change. When you've changed direction, does it feel any different into that lower back sacrum? Bring the knees to the center, take your hands down and slowly circle without using your hands. Just a couple of times. If it doesn't feel right, then change direction, then keep your hands onto the knees. And then slowly coming back. And then from here, take your feet down and take your hands underneath the buttocks as a shelf. Draw the knees into the chest. And then straighten the right leg to the ceiling. So we're going to do our favourite cycling movement. So we're going to lower the right leg to just above the floor. And then as we bend the right leg to the ceiling, we straighten the left leg. And extend out through that heel. Now, if it doesn't feel right into that lower back, as I demonstrate, you might just make the circles smaller. Rather than extending the leg straight along the floor, this may be more supportive for your back, okay? If your lower back's like, no, it's great, I'm feeling just chipper-whacker, it's great, then you can maybe extend one leg out and make the levers a little bit longer. Otherwise, shorten, okay? And then pause and reverse in the opposite direction. So the slower you go, the more you're going to feel this. But again, we don't want to strain into that lower back. So the alternative to support, which we always want to do, we always want to be supportive in our pose, is to shorten the lever like this. Okay, otherwise 2 more times in whichever direction is suitable for you. And then hugging the knees into the chest. So remove the hands, hug the knees back into that chest. And then roll over and find, if you don't have a block, use a cushion. Find a cushion or a dictionary. Remember those old encyclopedias? Place that between your thighs. Palms down. Press your feet into the mat. So as you breathe in, lift your hips up and bring your arms over the back of the head. So your palms are facing in. Take the arms all the way over. Then as you breathe out, lowering the spine, bringing the arms all the way down at the same time. We're going to do that 2 more times. Feel the in-breath, press through your feet. Follow the movement with your breath. Pause at the top of the inhale. As you breathe out, feel the out-breath, guiding the movement all the way down. 1 more time. Feel yourself breathe in. Follow the movement to the whole length of your inhale. Pause at the peak. Feel when you breathe out, movement follows breath. Now pick your favourite pet, dog, cat. Breathing in, pick up chubby dog or chubby cat and feel how that has added a bit of load. Control the movement, and then on the out breath, bring chubby puppy or cat back with you. Again, 1 more time, picking up this imaginary pet, about 2 or 3 kilos is a good load to imagine. Feel how that's changed, that awareness, and how you have to control the movement. Now we've added some imaginary load onto it. And then relax all the way down. Draw the knees in, and then let's roll all the way over to one side. And slowly coming all the way up. Okay, so again, if you're on a hard floor, then just put a blanket underneath your knees. Otherwise, what we're going to do is come onto the hands and the knees. Let's curl the right toes under and press back into that heel. Draw your palms back towards you. So you're pressing the mat away, drawing your palms back towards you. Now raise your right leg just buttock height. Now imagine there's this teeny tiny person who weighs a few kilos and they're trying to sit on your leg. So you need to try to lift that leg up, and straight away again, we're adding that load and we're switching on all these deep abdominal muscles. Hold it here, press back into the heel, the imaginary load of lifting a small child on that leg, and then gently bend the knee and place it back down. Curl the left toes under and press back into that heel. Draw your palms back towards you. Raise your left leg just at buttock height. Again, imaginary small person is trying to do piggyback on your legs, so straight away all muscles have to support that, so the front of the body has to hug in. Press the mat away, press the face away, bend the knee, place the foot down. Step your right foot between the hands. Make sure your kneecap's facing over your second or third toe. Press down through that front foot and press down through that back foot. So as you press down through that foot, you can either just take the gaze forward, or if it feels comfortable, raise the arms overhead. Then we're going to shift the buttocks and the hips back, drawing the front toes up and lift long out of that lower back. So now moving with the breath is breathing in, either staying here or follow the inhale on away with the arms. Exhale, shift your hips and buttocks back, draw the toes up. So the movement on the inhale, the movement follows the breath, maybe the arms come in. The exhale, shift your hips and buttocks back, drawing the front toes up. 1 more time, breathing in. Hug that front of the ribs down into the abdomen. On an exhale, shift hips and buttocks back, drawing the front toes up. Stay here, breathing naturally. So we're not holding the breath, we're maintaining that rhythm of our breath. We might be bending that front knee to support our back. But let's all press that front heel down, draw the toes up. Imagine there's a nice evenness into that lower back, into that pelvis. Bend the knee on top of the ankle. Again, we might choose to stay here or curl the back toes under and lift the back thigh knee off the ground and press back through that heel. So rather than dumping into that lower back and sinking the buttocks down, lift the buttocks up, press into that back heel, press the floor away. And imagine you're lengthening through the top of your head, not the chin, but the top of your head. Remember, you've got that option of putting your knee on the mat. And then gently, we're going to take that back knee down, come back to the hands and the knees, curl the toes under, Shift the weight back. We're going to press the mat away, keep the knees quite bent, lift the sit bones up to the ceiling, relax your head between your arms, and then soften the heels down towards the floor. Come back to the hands and the knees, shift your left foot forward between the hands, kneecap facing over second or third toe. From here, option to stay here or follow the movement with taking the arms overhead. Shift the weight to the hips, buttocks back, drawing the front toes up. So we're moving with the breath. On an inhale, planting a foot and maybe following all the way through the arms or keeping the hands on the ground. Exhale, shift hips and buttocks back, drawing the front toes up. So feel when you breathe in, and then the movement follows that breath. And feel when you breathe out, and then the movement's following that breath. We'll do one more time. And again, you just choose when you need to adjust or change. And I'm going to stay here, breathing naturally, bend the knee as much as you need to. Press your front heel down, drawing your toes up. And imagine you're trying to draw that front heel back towards you. From here, bend the knee so it's facing over your second or third toe, stay here, or curl the back toes under, lift the back thigh knee up. Lift your hips and buttocks up a bit higher, lengthen through the crown of your head. Soften that back knee down, come back to the hands and the knees. Shift your buttocks back, curl the toes under, press the floor away, keep the knees quite bent into the chest. Press the floor away, relax your head between your arms, keep lifting your sit bones up to the ceiling and then soften the heels towards the floor. Bend the knees and walk up to the top of your mat. Kneecaps facing forward. Sit back into an imaginary stool. Sweep your arms wide and high if you have room, otherwise bring your arms forward and up. Bring the hands into the centre of the chest. So we're going to sweep the arms wide and high. We're going to bend the knees, come into a forward fold, take the hands onto the shins, and then do a half lift, lengthen out through the crown of our head. Bend the knees and take your right leg back, take the knee on the mat, and then just pause here, relax that back foot down. Coming up, so remember kneecap facing over second and third toe, left hand stays on your thigh, raise your right arm up, press down through that front foot, press down through your back foot. Come a little bit over to your left. Lengthen through your top fingers, lengthen down through that back thigh. And then slowly come up, hands either side. Shift the weight back, bring your right foot forward, kneecap over second or third toe. Right hand onto the thigh, bring your left arm up. Press down through the front foot and come a little bit over towards your right. Keep the arm by the ear. Lifting the hand up, hands either side, come back to the hands and the knees. From here, as you breathe in, draw the chest forward, draw your palms back towards you. As you breathe out, curling under, press the mat away, chin to chest, curling the tailbone under, navel to spine. On an inhale, leg of the chest, draw the chest forward, slide the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, press the mat away, chin to chest, curling under. Again, breathing in, leading with the chest, draw the palms back towards you, shoulder blades slide down. Exhale, press the mat away, chin to chest, navel to spine, curling under. Let's do one more time like this. And then slowly coming back to the hands and the knees. We're going to go to up to down dog again. Toes curl under, buttocks shift towards heels. Press the mat away, keep the knees quite bent, lift your sit bones up, relax your head between the arms, and then start to soften the heels towards the floor. From here, bending the knees, and we're bringing the hands backwards, so we're walking the hands backwards, bending the knees, sitting back, and then bring your arms forward, press for your feet, come all the way up, bring the hands into the centre of the chest. A little bit of a balance here. So we're going to interlace the fingers, we're going to turn the palms down, bring the arms by the ears, my palms have disappeared, bring the arms by the ears, and then come up onto your toes. Stay here, take the arms out to the side, and then slowly soften the heels all the way down. So as you breathe in, come up onto the toes. Hold it here. Then as you breathe out, take the arms out to the side, and then slowly come all the way down. One more time on an inhale, coming up onto the toes. Keep the arms by the ears, palms to the ceiling. As you breathe out, take the arms out to the side, and then soften them all the way down. Next time we hold, inhale to come up. Hold it here, relax the breath. Stay for another inhale. On the next exhale, coming out and all the way down. From here, open the legs comfortably apart, and let's turn our right foot out to the side, heel to heel, and you're angling your back foot in. Keeping the hands on the hips to start with. So we're gently going to bend that front knee on top of your ankle, but really notice that it goes over your second and third toe. And then start to press the floor away, straightening that front leg. So bend the knee over the second and third toe and press down through that foot. Just hold it there. Now press into your back heel. Press down through that front foot. Hold it there. And then imagine you're on ice. So you need to draw your feet together. So as you press down, imagine you're trying to draw your feet together. Hold it there. And then take the arms, float them up, keep the shoulders down, and look over your front hand. So from here, back hand to the back hip, front forearm on top of the thigh, and open the chest out and up to the ceiling. Now you can keep the back hand onto the hip if that feels good, or we can circle that front arm forward all the way up to shoulder height, so my palms facing in towards me. We can stay here, or we can also bring the arm over the ear. Then press down through that front foot, press down to come all the way up, and then relax the arms and turn the foot in, and we'll go to the other side. So we're turning the left foot out, and we're angling the back toes in, heel to heel. First of all, just check the placement of that knee. So let's bend the knee so it's facing over the second and third toe. Just see how that's trailing compared to the other side, and come back. As we know, sometimes if the knee is coming in, that's going to place too much pressure onto that inside of that kneecap. So let's hold it now into a warrior two. Press down through the front foot, press into that back heel, float the arms up at shoulder height. And imagine you're trying to squeeze your feet together, but you're on ice, and now soften the shoulders down. Back hand onto back hip, front forearm on top of front thigh, and open chest and rib cage out and up to the ceiling. We can keep this hand here on the hip the whole time, or we can see if it feels right to circle that top arm forward and all the way back up at shoulder height. Stay here, or maybe bring the arm over the ear. And then press down through that front foot to come all the way back up, and then relax the hands down. Turning that foot in, turn your right foot out again 90 degrees, angle the back toes in. And this time, with the hands on the ribs as a reference, we're going to place the rib cage over the front foot. Bending that front knee on top of your ankle, so your knee again is over your second and third toe. Press into that back heel. We're going to raise the arms up, forward, and then we're going to bend the elbows and draw the shoulder blades in. So we're going to breathe in, straighten the arms. We're going to breathe out, bend the elbows, draw the shoulder blades together and in. One more time, breathing in, raise the arms up. And breathing out, bending elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then from here, we're going to hold on to our elbows behind our back. Keep hugging the front of your rib cage in, because what happens if we tend to flare into the rib cage, we overarch. So hug the front of the ribs in, press into that back foot, and then release the hands, pick up that back foot so it's facing forward, and just drag it forward so you're coming a bit more forward. Take your hands onto your hips, bend that front knee, and then we can either keep the toes, the toenails onto that mat, so this is a bit of a balance here, We can see where it's comfortable for us to raise that back leg up. Keep the hips facing forward. And then gently bend that supporting leg and bring that back foot forward. Give the knees a few little gentle bounces. And we're going to go to the other side. So we'll turn. So we're going to be repeating it. So we had the right foot forward. So now we're going to have the left foot forward and the back toes turning in. We're facing the rib cage over the front foot. So we're doing the other side now. And bending the knee over your second or third toe, hugging the front of the ribs in. From here, we're going to breathe in, raise the arms up, and breathe out, bend the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades together. So breathing in, raising the arms up, and breathing out, bending the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades in. One more time, breathing in, raising the arms up, pressing to that back heel, breathing out, bend the elbows, hug the front of the ribs in. Then relax the arms down, hold on to the elbows, hug the front of that rib cage in, press down through that front foot, press back into that back heel. And then release the hands, come up onto that ball of the foot, drag the back foot in. So we're on the toenails, and this can be enough of a standing balance for us as we lengthen through the crown of the head. We can bend that supporting knee a little bit, and then maybe raise that back leg, keeping the hips even and facing forward. And then gently bend the knee and draw that back leg in. Now from here, I need us to all find a chair. So go find a chair or a stool, I guess, but a chair would be good. And I'll just arrange it so you can see. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just use this chair because we don't have a wall. So first of all, we want to increase the strength of the hip flexors doing this movement here. So we're going to put the palms onto the chair and then just coming back so the hips are on top of the ankles. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise one leg just at buttock height, and we're going to bend the supporting knee, press the floor away, forehead to the knee. So we're going to breathe in, straighten that leg, no higher than a buttock, press the chair away, and as we breathe out, bend the knee, curl into the upper back, forehead to knee. Breathing in, and on an out breath, bend the knee, press the floor away, curling in, and just relax that foot down, do a couple of little bounces, and then to the other side. So we're going to straighten that back leg, then we're going to hug the front of the torso into the back, so not collapsing down. And then we're going to bend the knee, press the floor, press the chair away, curl into the upper back, forehead to knee. So you inhale, chest leads, back leg lengthens, press the chair away. Exhale, bend that supporting knee, curl into that upper back. On an inhale, and on an exhale, press the chair away, curl into that upper back, forehead to the knee. And then place that foot back down. And then using the chair, just move mine away a little bit, as doing the down dog against a wall. So we're going to press the palms onto the chair, so the hips are on top of the ankles, bend the knees a little bit, and imagine that we're trying to drag the chair back towards us, and bring that head in line with the ears and roll your armpits in. Again, hug the front of the ribs up into the back, sit bones up to the ceiling. So your palms and your fingertips are pressing down, you're rolling your armpits in, you're trying to drag that chair back towards you, but it stays where it is, and you want to be feeling a nice lengthening into that spine. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to bend the knees and start to curl a little bit up, and we're going to come forward, so your shoulders are on top of your wrists, and then open into that chest, slide the shoulder blades down the back. Press the chair away, bend the knees, coming back into a down dog onto the chair. And then we start to shift the body weight forward, curl into the upper back, and then open and draw the chest forward and slide your shoulder blades down the back. One more time, bend the knees, press away. So this is like a down dog to a plank kind of move that we're using a chair. Bend the knees, curl into the upper back, open into that chest, slide your shoulder blades down the back, and then bend the knees, press back, and then bend the knees a little bit more. Try to drag that chair back, relax the head between the arms, roll the armpits in. And then slowly come all the way up. Chairs are great. Okay. So now we're going to just use the chair to do a standing balance with. Okay. So take one hand on your chair. I'll just bring it back so you can see. Right, so let's take the weight onto one foot. Oh, I've disappeared. Here we go. Take the weight onto one foot. Bend that supporting knee, take hold of the top of the foot. So you want to keep your hips level. Now you can move that chair if it's light, just so that you've got like a finger on it. Or you could have a whole hand on it. Okay. So here we want to check that the knees are comfortably drawn in, that supporting leg is slightly bent, that we're pressing into that back hand with the back foot, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, drawing the chin slightly in and down. Bend that supporting leg, draw that back foot in, and hug the thigh and the knee into the chest. So again, you could have the hand on the chair, you could have a finger on a chair, or you could go, well, the chair's there, but I'm just going to take my hand off it and see what that feels like. And then gently bend that knee and relax it down, give it a shake about. We'll do our standing balance on the other side. Adjust your chair. Shift the weight into the same side of the leg as your hands on the chair. Bend the knee a little bit. Then bend the outside knee and take hold of that foot. Draw your shoulder blades in and down. You want to lengthen from the top. I'm just going to take my hand off. You want to lengthen from the top of your hip down the thigh, out through that knee. Press back into that hand. Draw the chin slightly in and back. And again, you can hold on to that chair because that feels best for you. Or you can put fingers, one finger, or just go, I'm just going to hover my hand above. So having that option is a really good way to keep resetting our system, knowing, well, we've got something there. If we need it, it's there. And then we're going to bend that supporting leg and hug that thigh knee into the chest, keeping length through the crown of your head. Again, either holding on, finger, or hovering above. See what you need. And then gently relaxing that down. And then from here, we're going to sit on our chair. This is easy, but to the very top, okay? So we're going to do, we've done this before, I think, like the thread the needle to release into the outer rotators of the hips. So sitting to the top of your chair, maybe if I go sideways. Here we go. Sitting to the top of the chair. And as soon as we come to the very top, feet are facing forward, ankles underneath the heels. Press down through your feet. And you should feel that there's quite a lot of pressure to support the spine just through this movement. Now imagine you're trying to lift your heels off the floor as you press down at the same time. And again, you're going to feel all this through here. So stay there. I'm just going to shift my chair back to the front as I get stuck on the mat. All right, let's cross our own left ankle on top of our thigh. Draw your toes up so you're flexing the foot. Make sure that bottom foot's facing forward. Quite often it'll be turned out to the side. Again, make sure it's comfortable. Now you want to press down through that supporting foot into the ground. Press down. And then as you press down, press your sit bones down, lift up through the crown of your head. Keep your hips facing forward. And then come to where it feels right for you. It might feel better to stay up here, might feel comfortable to come down. So you're pressing your sit bones down and you're growing long. You're lifting out of both sides of your waist, pressing that bottom foot down, pressing the ankle down onto the thigh and allowing what movement feels right to feel an opening into that outer hip. Keep lengthening through the crown of your head. So not the chin, but lengthening. And then slowly picking up that foot, just giving a little bit of a rock, hugging the thigh into the chest to realign that knee, and then open We'll do a couple of times. We're not moving the body, we're just opening and releasing into that knee joint. Bending the knee, placing the foot so it's facing forward, if comfortable. Yeah. And then crossing your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Flexing your toes. Press your sit bones down. Press down through that bottom foot. So you're pressing that bottom foot down as you press your sit bones down and growing long out of both sides of the waist, and then hinging from the hip creases. So you want to be feeling some sensations into this outer hip area. You might also be feeling it into the back of the thigh as well. We want to be avoiding curling into the back. So you want to keep the spine long. Not jutting the rib cage forward, keeping the spine long. And then slowly coming up. Lift up that foot, rock it back and forth a few times. Hug the knee into the chest. And then we'll open and close. So interlace behind and just do opening and closing a few times. And then hugging that knee back into the chest. And then planting that down. So again, make sure you're just to the very top. You're not going to fall off the chair, but you're just sitting onto it, feet facing forward. Press down through your feet, let your arms be soft. So we're going to shift the weight slightly forward, and then as you breathe in, come up, keep the arms there, bend the knees, shift the weight into the heels, keep the spine long, and come back. Keep the arms there. Shift the weight forward, arms are extension of the spine, press for your feet, kneecaps face forward, come up. Bend the knees, shift the weight back into the heels, keep the arms long, come down. Take the arms out of the equation, shift the weight forward, press for your feet to come up. Bend the knees, shift the weight into the heels, come back down. All right, that's something that we can practice, because how often when we come out, we're so used to using our arms to lift us up or anything that we want to strengthen into the legs. So thank you, chair. You are no longer needed, so we'll just pop you over here for now. And then coming back onto the mat, just to the front of the mat now. If you don't have a strap, again, maybe you've got a tie or a scarf you can use. We'll just open to the side of the body. So have your arms just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Raising the arms by the ears. And just gently engaging the strap as if you're pulling it apart a little bit. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, coming over to your left, because I'll be to the opposite to you. Breathing in to come up, and breathing out, coming over to your right, pulling the strap apart. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out, coming over to your left, pulling the strap apart. Press down through your feet as you breathe in to lift up. As you breathe out, coming over to your right, pulling the strap apart. And as you breathe in, press through your feet to lift up. Let's do one more time on each side, just gently pulling the strap apart. Remembering we want to open to the side line of the body, just to where it's right for you. You don't have to come over very far. Coming up. Bend the elbows, draw the strap down to the nape of the neck. Now keep trying to draw the strap apart, just, I don't know, like about 20%. Just engaging a little bit as you lift it up. So about 20%, just enough to go, oh yeah, this is definitely using my shoulders. And then bend the elbows. Draw a chin slightly in and down. You want to keep that neck long. Imagine there's a wall behind your head that you're softening into. So feel yourself breathe in, and then follow the movement to the top of your inhale. Pause. Feel when you're going to breathe out, and as you breathe out, follow the movement of the out breath all the way down. Draw your shoulder blades together and down. One more time, inhale. And this time as we breathe out, we're just going to relax the strap and relax the arms all the way down. You can release that one there. And then again, a little bit of a standing balance again. So let's stand on our right foot, gently bend the knee, and then take your left foot to rest on top. Take the hands onto the hips, squeezing the inner thigh muscles in. Just holding it here. And now hover, if it feels comfortable, you can keep the left toes on top of your right foot, or maybe hover above, which is really making your hip flexors work. It might not be comfortable for you, it might be better to keep the toes on top of that foot. And then gently come out, give the legs a shake about, because we have been using these a lot today. We've been shortening them and opening them to try to strengthen them. So now shift the weight into your left foot. We're going to take your right foot, the toes on top. Keep the hips level. Squeeze the inner thighs together. We can keep that foot where it is. Keep its stability into, if you find your ankle joint is wobbling, then really feel into maybe softening into the back of that supporting knee. Maybe hover the foot above. If straight away this loses connection or stability, don't. Just put the foot back on top. Engaging the strength of the outer glute muscles by imagining these are lifting up, so we keep the hips level. And then gently coming out and giving the legs another good shake about. Okay, from here, having the legs, so you might need to turn your mat because we're going to have the legs wide apart. So make sure you can adjust yourself so you're not craning your neck in some unusual way. Ideally, would have a flash setup with a big screen TV. All right. Take your hands onto your hips, so your feet are facing forward, and press down evenly through your feet. Now to strengthen into the inner arches of your feet, just imagine, it's kind of like a mind thing you have to imagine as I indicate the inner arches here. I want you to imagine that you're drawing these up. And as you draw the inner arches up, you can feel that all these different muscles are switching on. Staying here. And then to support the back, keep your hands onto your hips. If the load feels okay, take your arms out to the side. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we need to be aware of. So either keep hands on hips or arms out to the side. And then we're going to hinge from the hips to come parallel to the floor. So either keep your hands onto your hips or keep the arms out to the side. And then we're going to take the fingertips to the floor, so the fingertips are underneath our face. And we're going to shift the weight back into the heels. We're going to bend the knees, so your kneecaps are facing forward. So it's like a squat, a standing squat. Shift the weight back into the heels, bend the knees, so your kneecaps are facing forward. Lift your sit bones up to the sky. Walk your hands forward. And then start to straighten the legs from here. Again, shift the weight back into the heels. Bend your knees, kneecaps face forward. Bend the knees. Lift your sit bones up. And then start to lift your sit bones up and straighten up through the back of the legs. You should be feeling the back of the hamstrings working now. Bend your knees, kneecaps face forward. Shift the weight to the heels. Sit bones lift up to the ceiling. Now straighten the legs. From here, walk your hands forward. Shift the weight back into the heels. Relax your head between your arms. Gently roll the armpits in. You're going to be feeling that this is a nice sense of lengthening for your back. So adjust your arms and bend the knees as much as you need to. And then slowly walk your hands back. Bend the knees so you can heel toe walk your feet in. And then we're going to bend the knees and we're going to come down. Okay, so we're going to bend the knees or come down in whatever way is suitable. If it's not suitable to come down this way, then just come down in whichever way is comfortable. And then from here, coming all the way down onto the floor. So coming back onto our backs now, again. Hug your knees into your chest. And then again, planting your feet onto the mat. From here, straightening the legs. And then we're going to take the hands underneath the buttocks. Kind of rolling under, taking the palms underneath the buttocks. See, palms are down, hands underneath the buttocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to press down through the elbows. We're going to lift up onto the elbows and look down at our feet and draw the shoulder blades together. Either stay here, and when you're ready, just slowly coming all the way back down. Release the hands from here. Hug the knees back into your chest. And then plant the feet on the floor. We're going to do a recline twist. So we're taking the arms out to the side. Shift the buttocks to the left of your mat. Bring your knees up and over to the right and place them onto the floor. Now remember, if your knees are apart, then we need to put a pillow between the knees, maybe a pillow underneath the knees as well. Take your right hand to the top of the knees to support, and then gently turn to look over towards your left palm. If comfortable, close your eyes down. And let's start to bring an awareness back into following the flow of our breath. How easeful can we create the rhythm of our breath to be for us? Notice when you begin to breathe in. Notice and feel when you breathe out. And now notice at the very top of your inhale, there's a pause before the body naturally registers and you breathe out. Notice at the very end of the exhale, before you breathe in again, there's this tiny pause. Keep following this 4-part breath. Inhale, there's a pause at the peak of your inhale naturally. Follow the exhale out of your body. Notice and feel the end of the exhale. And then from here, coming back onto your back, shift the buttocks a little bit over to your right. Bring the knees up and into the floor, over to the left. Place a pillow either between or underneath the knees. Left hand comes on top, turning the head to look over towards that right palm. Maybe closing the eyes down. And settling back into your natural breath. Notice if the breath has changed on this side. If you find that you're caught up thinking within the mind different things, just acknowledge. Notice how we can use our breath as an anchor to stay present. And slowly come all the way over onto your back. Let's hug the knees back into the chest again. And then roll over to the side. And from here, we're going to do about 5 minutes of some breathing practice, and then we're going to lie down. So because we are in the privacy of our home, we can either use our chair to sit in, which is really comfortable. And we can do some breathing practices here, sitting to the top of our chair, or finding for yourself what is going to support you to sit for a few minutes. If you have cushions or pillows you can sit on, a blanket, or pillows underneath your knees. So really take the time to go, I'm really going to nail this being comfortable now because I'm at home. So maybe using cushions under your knees if you don't have blocks, or normally if your hips are a bit higher than your knees, it'll support your knees. Or sit in that chair. This is the time when we can really go, I want to really allow myself to be comfortable so I can focus on the breath that we're going to be working together. So if you need to get anything warm on, do so. Once you've found your optimal position, gently close your eyes down. Just have your hands wherever they feel comfortable for you. And again, allow yourself to follow that natural rhythm of your breath in and out of your body. Notice again if it's changed, if it's fast or short, even, smooth or irregular. Now focus only on the exhale. You will naturally breathe in, but I want you to focus more on the exhale. And how can we allow the exhale to be a little bit longer and a bit more comfortable for us? Can we allow the exhale to deepen, still be very comfortable? And when we focus on our exhale, on breathing out with ease, but emptying out completely, this can bring us very quickly back into our physical body. And by that I mean when we get distracted by things that are happening outside of our control, or in our workplace, or even in our home, we tend to focus more on the inhale and we tend to breathe more shallow. So by breathing into the belly, focusing on emptying out completely, you can feel immediately this greater sense of almost solidness come back into your system. So now we're going to go over again the 9-count breath. This is something that I teach in all my classes because it's such a wonderful breath to just allow ourselves to increase that capacity of our lungs to hold our breath in and to hold our breath out. I'll talk you through, we've done it before, but I'll talk you through several rounds. So feel the breath in your belly, in your abdomen. Feel when you breathe out, empty out completely. And as you breathe into the abdomen and keep breathing in and draw the breath up into the chest all the way to the top of the collarbones. Hold your breath. 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out the nostrils. Empty out completely. Hold your breath out. 8, 9. Breathe into the navel for 1. Draw the breath into the upper chest for 2. Hold 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out for 7. Empty out completely. Hold out 8. Hold out 9. Breathe into navel for 1. Upper chest 2. Hold 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out for 7. Empty out completely. Hold out 8. Hold out 9. Breathe into navel for 1. Upper chest 2. Hold 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out for 7. Empty out completely. Hold out 8. Hold out 9. Breathe in for 1. Upper chest 2. Hold 3, 4, 5, 6. Out for 7. Empty out completely. Hold out 8. Hold out 9. Breathe in for 1. Breathe in for 2. Hold 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out for 7. Hold out 8. Hold out 9. One more round in your own time. And then returning the breath to the nostrils again. If comfortable, keep your eyes closed. Feeling the natural flow of your breath in your nostrils. And then we're going to even that breath out. So again, if you need to change position or sit on a chair, now's your chance. I'm going to do the alternate nostril breath. So if you're not sure, you can open the eyes, but I will direct you through it. We use the forefinger and the middle finger together onto that space between the eyebrows as a reference point to where we draw our breath. We very lightly close off the right nostril with the thumb. And then as we breathe in, we draw the breath lightly up the left nostril to the peak of our inhalation, and we pause. Close off the left nostril with your ring finger as you open up the right, and gently releasing the breath down and out your right nostril. We breathe lightly up the right nostril to the peak of our inhalation. We pause. Close off the right with our thumb as we open up the left, and gently breathe down and out the left nostril. This is one round. Drawing the breath up the left nostril to the peak of your inhalation and pause. Lightly close off the left as you open up the right, and gently leaking the breath down and out your right nostril. Breathing up the right nostril to the peak of your inhalation and pause. Close off the right with your thumb as you open up the left, and gently leaking the breath down and out your left nostril. Drawing the breath up the left nostril to the peak of your inhalation and pause. Close off the left with your ring finger as you open up the right, and gently leaking the breath down and out your right nostril. Drawing the breath up the right nostril to the peak of your inhalation, pause. Close off right with the thumb, open up the left, gently leak the breath down and out your left nostril. Continue practicing this alternate nostril breath. The reason we use this breath is to bring a sense of balance to the left and the right sides, the hemispheres of our brain, as each nostril relates to a different side of the brain that we use. And in yoga, this breath is also used to bring a sense of balance into our nervous system. And we can do this anytime, day or night. So the next time you breathe down and out your left nostril, just gently releasing the hands. If comfortable, keep your eyes closed for just a few more moments. And again, come back to feeling your breath in your nostrils and perceiving any difference within your system compared to when you started, before you switched on the computer, to right now. Just noticing any subtle differences within your body. And if there are no differences, that's perfect too. And then from here, I invite you to come into whatever pose of relaxation is good for you. I'm just going to turn off one of my lamps. So this is the time that you can get very comfortable lying down onto your back. As I guide you through the relaxation, we'll be here for just over 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Finding whatever cushions you need to place underneath your knees. If you don't have a bolster, and again, any cushions underneath your back of your head. And of course, please do cover yourself up. Have your arms gently beside your body, with the legs slightly apart. Comfortably closing the eyes down. Bring the awareness to the breath. Become aware of the breath in and out of your nostrils. Becoming aware of the journey of your breath in and out of your body. And then feeling the contact points of your body and the floor beneath. With each out breath, feeling a sense of heaviness of your whole body down into the floor. heaviness with every out breath. Now bring your awareness to your body above the floor. And each time we breathe out, imagining and feeling a sense of lightness in our body. Lightness with every out breath. Bring your awareness back into the whole physical body, lying upon the floor. And take your awareness now to any sounds around you, both within the room you're in, and then beginning to extend the awareness to the sounds outside your room, outside of your house. Keep shifting your awareness from sound to sound, close sounds, any sounds in the distance. And then bring the awareness back into the sounds once again around you, within the room you're in. Back into the sound of your own breath now. Become aware, listen, feel the breath in and out of your body. Allowing each breath to deepen, each out breath a little bit longer, a little bit softer. Taking your awareness and feeling each body part as I name it. Imagine each part in your mind, feel into it, and then let it go, moving from part to part. Start down at the soles of your feet, 10 toes, top of feet, ankles, heels, lower legs, kneecaps, top of thighs, back of thighs, hips, buttocks, lower back, middle of back, upper back, shoulder blades, whole spine, back of your shoulders, to your right arm, feeling from shoulder to fingertips the whole of your right arm. And now to your left arm, from shoulder to fingertips the whole left arm. Back of the neck, back of the head, crown of your head, forehead, both temples, eyebrows, space between your eyebrows, both eyes, bridge of nose, nostrils, both cheeks, ears, mouth, jaw, chin, throat space, collarbones, right side of chest, left side of chest, right side of abdomen, left side of abdomen, abdominal space, both legs, both arms, the whole back of your body, the whole front of your body, and all at once your whole body lying upon the floor. Coming back to the natural breath. As you breathe in, draw the breath evenly up both nostrils to the peak of your inhalation and pause. As you breathe out, notice how the breath splits and travels back down both sides of your nostrils. Keep following the natural flow of your breath up and down, both sides of your nostrils. Then counting backwards from 14 breaths all the way back to 0. Drawing the breath up as a count, breathing out and down that same count. Keep anchoring your mind to follow your breath. And gently letting go of the counts of your breath. Now bring your awareness to the space behind your closed eyes, the space of the mind. And gaze into this imaginary movie screen that is our mind. Become the witness of any thoughts, pictures, patterns, colours that come and go across the screen of our mind. Allow yourself to be the relaxed witness within this space, uninvolved and detached. And slowly begin to withdraw the awareness of witnessing for just a brief moment the contents of our mind. Come back now and feel your breath. Allow the breath to deepen. Become aware of your physical body. Then stretching your arms overhead from fingertips to toes in each direction. Take a beautiful stretch. Let's roll over to the side and we'll close as we always do, coming up to face to front. We'll bring our palms together so we can close with the acknowledgement and again take this time to bring some self-love and gratitude back into our bodies, into our breath, into our mind, and even more so now, sending that gratitude out to all those people who are loving and supporting us, the people who are supporting us outside of our family in this incredible country, that we may stay safe and well, and of course sending that gratitude out to every living being on this planet. And closing, blessed be in Namaste. And I'll just come over and press stop.